Where you at, you ginger fuck?
Mate, I'm ginger as well.
My beard is.
I suppose that counts.
How about you,
Well,
Steve?
Eh?
How about you?
Me? No, I mean, there is ginger in the family,
Is
but
there? I think it's just me that's
Yeah.
got to keep my mouth shut then, isn't
they're kept under the stairs, is it?
it?
my dad's got brown and ginger and grey beard.
Has he?
Nice.
That's strong. Chicks dig that.
We
Mixed
are
race.
live. We're live.
Are we live on the MotoX Collective?
Yeah, we are. Could one of you guys just double check it and make sure it's coming through all right?
Bear with me.
Thank you. I decided to go for the gaming headset as well instead of the mic headphone setup, just because it's easier if we're playing. Hopefully I don't sound ridiculous on air.
Well,
Yeah.
you can't sound any worse than me with my accent.
It's all good, mate. It's all working sweet. Your mic's
Wicked.
working.
Cool. All right.
What's wrong with your accent?
Oh, carrot country, and I'm from Somerset.
Mate, I'm the next
Somerset.
county over in Wiltshire.
Oh, the Wilts.
I'm from Dorset.
Oh, yeah, well, you're not far. I suppose you're all kind of similarly carroty, aren't we?
Mate,
Oh,
we're
nice.
English.
Southwest
Everyone's
line.
carroty.
Yeah, well, I live in Wales, so I stand out as a carroty. Goat bothering yokels, my dad calls us.
We all think it's sheep when we're not in Wales, so obviously you know something we don't.
Well, I don't go near the sheep one over here, mate. They wouldn't
Yeah.
be tampered with.
My granddad told me, my granddad's Welsh. Oh, he was Welsh before he died, but he said something about that whole thing came about because apparently soldiers back in the day used to put sheep's back legs in wellies and then bum them.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, true story.
Well, that's an interesting way to open up tonight's stream.
Sorry.
But
Yeah.
he said it, I don't want anyone to get offended, but obviously he's Welsh, so he's going to add this. But he said it was the Americans that come over during the war that used to put sheep's legs in Wellington boots and then bum them.
Wow.
Always a good time.
Quite a story.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
there's other ones, isn't there? They say that if you ever see a sheep tied to a post near a cliff, don't go near it because that's the local leisure centre. Because if you bum them towards the cliff, the sheep start pushing back.
Oh my god.
And I'm sat next to a
Welcome.
girl from the valleys right now, so I've got to be careful because I'm within punching distance.
Mate, girls can still throw things as well, so it don't matter where you are.
Welsh girls is at another level, mate. Honestly, they're animals. They should have sent them to fight the Zulus.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll just hang around then for 5 minutes and wait for Matt to show up.
Sure.
Fashionably late.
And I think this track is available in... Where'd you say it was, TFC?
It's in the description on the YouTube video. The link.
Okay, so go to the MotoX Collective YouTube channel, look at the
Fact.
latest video posted, and there is a track link in there if you want to join us.
Excuse me, the focus.
So how about that weather?
Yeah, it's nasty, mate. I was saying that earlier.
It's
The
what?
weather?
The weather's nasty.
Nasty, mate. It's been glorious here.
Yeah, it's lovely, yeah.
Oh, it was nice for like 20 minutes earlier when it dropped like 3 degrees. And I got frostbite.
Oh.
I was wearing slip-on Vans.
We've had like 8 to 10 degrees, clear skies.
Well, I'm in the wrong
Gorgeous,
place.
man.
It's nearly riding weather. Real life riding weather.
Oh, I don't know. I've got to wait till at least May, I think.
Are you a fair weather rider?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Callaway tell you about that when he went to Marshville, and it's the first time he's ever seen mud.
Well, when he went riding?
Yeah, and he went out there and he was like, "This is so much harder than dry riding." I was like, "Yeah, it's a completely different kettle of fish, mate."
Yeah, he said like half the novice group didn't make it around the first lap.
Yeah. To be fair, Marshfield's on the side of a hill, and they tend to plough it for some reason.
Right.
So it gets claggy. But he's never ridden anything other than like hard pack sunshine.
Yeah.
I'm like, mate, this is bread and butter of British motocross, mate.
We see the dirt a lot easier with this dark sky, can't you? On the screen.
I quite like it. I think the textures are quite good. So was it just a height map from the actual Flying Arrow?
No, so it's the textures from the Monster Energy official track map itself. So I ain't done any textures or anything, and it's just my own height map. I've like got a load of template jumps from Supercross tracks and just like laid it out, trying to mimic the track map.
It rides really well. I mean, what they were saying, like it's a little bit easier than the aerial one, is true, but I think that does it some favours because I think it's more raceable.
Yeah. And when it's just supposed to be for fun, isn't it? So
yeah, definitely.
Easier it rides, the better, really.
Yeah, it's still satisfying to get the rhythms though. You get the triple, you know, you still manage something.
Yeah, and I was surprised how well this rides. I mean, I think that track map is literally supposed to be just like a visual aid for anyone watching, isn't it? It's not a blueprint or anything.
No.
So I was surprised it rode at all, to be honest. I thought everything was going to be in the wrong place.
Yeah, they do it sometimes, don't they? Where they show you the track map and then the track change.
Oh.
Steve, I messaged you. I've been chatting away, but I have my mic muted. I messaged you on Discord, mate, if you want to quickly check.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you got a problem?
Yeah, I have. I keep getting this rash on my lower.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I wanted to know how you got rid of it.
You want crabs be gone, mate?
Shave your pubes and go down to the local farmer and get the sheep bit.
Ah.
So I did it.
Well, it looks like Callaway is going to ghost us tonight, which is sad.
I'll be having words, don't worry.
So yeah, we got the first round in the book, 22. I can't believe it's the 2022 season, man.
Yeah, come around quick.
It's insane, isn't it? Yeah. Round one. So what do you guys think? I reckon we should kick it off with thoughts on the track and the track layout. TFC, what do you think?
Well, I already said what I think in my video about the track. I think I love the baseball stadium tracks, man. And I didn't realise this until I was downloading these track maps. We've got, 5 baseball stadiums in the first 6 rounds, is it?
Yeah, something like that, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I like it, man. It was easy going, wasn't it? It wasn't difficult, but it still seemed to lead to a lot of carnage, which was a bit of a shame. But that's A1, isn't it?
It's, everyone's saying that, yeah, everyone seems to come out and want to win it.
Yeah.
Like it means something. But statistically speaking, I think a person who's won A1 is statistically less likely to win the overall. You have a weird kind of, especially with Barsha, he's won it 3 times in a row. He's never
Barsha, yeah. I think, hasn't McGrath, didn't he win it 4 times in a row or something?
I think he's won it 3 times and they're matching, so I think if
yeah, that's it. That's it, yeah.
Well, I know one thing. Well, I'll get to my fantasy picks in a minute, but yeah, I agree. I think the baseball stadiums are always something special about them. But I don't know, the track layout this year for me, I was a bit. I'm not sure how I felt. It was a little bit weird, if I'm honest.
I think the big sweeping bit in the middle was a bit weird, definitely.
Yeah, that's it. Kind of, I don't know. And the racing itself, I don't know. The 450 main, I jumped straight into that. Yeah, it didn't pan out how I thought it would. I thought Tomac would just come out swinging. I don't know why. I thought new bike, got something, he feels he has to prove, but yeah, it just didn't work out. What did he finish, like 9th or?
Yeah, it was something like that, wasn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
If you remember back to the conversation we had in the Discord, I think I said Tomac's going to finish 10th.
Did you pick him in fantasy as the 10th place then?
No, I haven't done fantasy because I end up losing hair over it. I either forget to do it or I get so wound up about it I can't watch it.
Yeah.
Well, I picked him to win. And that was a massive mistake. I think I got Webb. So I had Tomac for the win, Webb third. Sorry, Webb second, Roczen third, and then I think I had like Mookie or someone like that, and then Joey Savacci, wild place. But I only got Webb. That was the only points I scored.
All right, yeah.
I think I predicted, just random prediction with people. I've had K-Rock as number 1, so I got that one. I had Webb in 3rd, but Webb was 2nd, wasn't he? And I had AC in 2nd. But AC took one, faded like a probably not keep it.
AC was, I never thought he was going to do well due to the injury.
No, he started hot, and I thought that's good.
Yeah.
Maybe the injury wasn't as bad, and then he started rolling through the whoops. I was like, no, he's going to fade back. He's going to drop like an
Oh
anchor.
man, I'll tell you what, he was lucky not to get taken out by Sexton as well.
Yeah, he was. Sexton was on an absolute rampage though.
Yeah, he really was.
Come back to 3rd, have an off, come back to 3rd.
All right, so there you go. What do you all think of Sexton? Because I watched it with a mate today, and I was saying I love Sexton, and I'd love to see him do well, but the kid's an animal, and I said he's got a real bad habit of binning it in corners. And what did he do? Binned it in a corner.
Yeah, I think that's the James Stewart connection, isn't it? The only person
Settle down. No, he's no longer with James Stewart, is he? Didn't he say on the Pulp Show, James, that he kind of just wanted to do his own thing or something? Is that what James said? Chase ended up saying, I've got what I need or something along those lines. But Chase was telling people, James just ghosted me or something. I couldn't really get hold of him or something.
I got the feeling they weren't good for each other because I think Chase was a little bit like starstruck working with him, and he felt like he had to impress him.
Yeah.
And I think James said the same thing as well, but I don't know. But yeah, I mean, what do you think of Chase and his chances this year? How he rode together?
I honestly think they're strong, man. I honestly think moving forward, I think Chase is definitely going to be the man. I think he is going to be the next big guy.
Yeah, like they like to say on the podcasts, changing of the guard, and he's going to be kind of the new generation.
He's just got that sort of explosive flash. I know, he hits the ground, but he's got that. I think he's just got that total package. I'd even put him. I even go one step further and say that he's got more in the tank than what Cincerillo has on the 450.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I'd agree with that sentiment as well. He seems, I don't know, he seems to have a little bit, he's visibly fast compared to the others. You watch him, you think, actually, he's going quick. The others tend to look so smooth and controlled, you think, they're going quick. They're all kind of, not boring, but measured. And he comes like, wow, he's going. So he's got that visible quickness, which I think that's the raw speed in him. He seems to have a lot more raw speed. And it's going to be more a case of keeping up rubber side down than it is getting him up to speed, you know what I mean?
Yeah. What was your guys' thoughts on Malcolm Stewart? He sort of started off the main event. He got passed by a few guys, and I thought, this is sort of unraveling a little bit for him here. But he seemed, I don't know, it seemed about 10 minutes in, he kind of started to whip it up and really get a groove going.
He's a weird one, isn't he, Mookie?
He is.
Because throughout the years, James Stewart said, Mookie's got more natural talent than me, and you see flashes of brilliance. He looks amazing, but he always looks a little bit out of shape. He always got a bit of podge to him. This year, he looks like he's in shape, but his riding's not quite as dynamic. So I don't know whether he's backed it down, but then, I don't know, he's a weird one.
It's a bit early to tell, isn't it? But
yeah. First round jitters.
I definitely think that, who did he come together with? It was Muscan, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, Muscan hit him hard.
Yeah.
You know, I'd say like what we saw with Barsha and Anderson, that was just racing, yeah, but Muscan properly took him out.
I called Barsha's take out as soon as Anderson took past him.
Yeah, same.
I was like, next corner he's going down. He's taking him out next corner. He's such a dirty rider.
Oh, there was really nothing. There weren't anything dirty about what Barsha did.
Oh yeah, but he could have done it without hitting him.
Maybe.
Because like I love his vlog. Since watching his vlog, I prefer him as a rider. I used to really dislike him, and I love his style because you never know what you're going to get. But I do feel like he runs people off the track too much. Like he tightropes them, and he doesn't have to. He can make a clean pass there.
Mate, it's even worse than the Suzuki. The Suzuki, like you remember that? Like there would be people passing him, like clearly faster, and he would just, do what he does.
That was desperation, wasn't it? That was desperation. But in an aggressive physical form, he just had no other choice. He couldn't beat him in speed, so he had to just bully him.
What about Ferrandis? What's your guys' thoughts on that? I kind of expected that, to be honest. I didn't have any.
I'm with you, mate.
Expectations.
I did. I expected more.
I personally think what they've done is, they had a semi-decent bike in Supercross last year, which moved into outdoor, and I think they focused so much on outdoor that rolling back into Supercross again, it was just, they were kind of like back to, they don't know where they're at.
Well, that's like the complete opposite of what they did with Webb, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm with you, mate. I wasn't expecting much from Ferrandis indoors, to be honest, and that's mainly based on what he was like last year on 450. In Supercross, not outdoors, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know. I got a lot of value in Ferrandis. I think he's a great Supercross rider based on his per se at showings. Yeah. But he never starts strong. If you remember back to last year, his first couple of rounds in the 450s, although admittedly it was his rookie year, I was like, I kind of expected more, but he kind of got going towards the end.
Yeah, he started fun that
bike. I honestly think it's, and I own a Yamaha, so I'm not, although I could be biased, I honestly think that bike is not, I just think it's too much, because the bike I've got, I know they've slimmed it down over the years, but it's a thick old bike. I honestly would love to see him on a KTM frame, like a gas, a Husky, or a KTM. I think he'd be something quite special on one of them.
He was very good in the GPs on a Kawasaki.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
But I'd like to see him on a Kawasaki. But the Yamaha, it is a wide bike, and he's not the biggest of chaps as he's Ferrandis. He's quite small, quite short. Same as Webb almost. He's quite small. Yeah. And I think he got something there in the sense of like no matter how much you slim it down, the airbox is still at the front. So there's still a certain degree of volume required there. So it's always going to be a bit bulky. But I don't know. I'd see how it goes on. I think he's going to get better.
I hope so.
Because I'm a big MXGP fanboy. I love the GPs. And I think the riders are hugely underrated by the Yanks. No offense to the Yanks, like they are fantastic supercross riders. You can't deny them that. But I think the gap between the two sides of the pond is so close now. Whenever we get any form of European rider, I kind of back them.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree, and think that I don't even think it's a case of. I know anyone in the AMA will always say, and it's a fair comment, that 3 months of the year is MXGP motocross. The rest of the time, it's all supercross. So I get that the MXGP is fully focused into motocross, but that gap, there is no gap there now in outdoors. It is pure just, I think
Yeah.
Euros are just better outdoors, to be fair.
Then you look at the Euros who have gone to America, they're the ones at the front of the pack. You've got Roxon, who's German, you've got Mustan, who's French.
You remember
got-
2010, Clement de Sal that went over?
Yeah. Paul Land did it as well.
Yeah,
he was like, top 10 on it every week. Tommy Searle had a couple of fifths, I think, in Supercross.
yeah, he was good.
He had some top 10s, definitely. So you look at Tommy Searle, you wouldn't say, oh, he's a Supercross rider because he comes from Britain. And our Supercross is not even close to the Americans' arena cross. But yet he still did well enough to qualify for nearly every main event in his rookie year. Had a couple of top 10s. And he's a tidy rider. So I always... It's not a us versus them thing, 'cause I think that's ridiculous. I just think it's nice to sort of show that his level. So whenever there's a French or German or Arno Tonus, when he went over to the pro circuit, I was a big fan of that. Bit of an underdog, I suppose. Big fan of an underdog. I think Ferrandis is an underdog who has the capacity to actually do it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely from what he's shown from outdoors last year, he's definitely got the ability. And his 250 seasons on Supercross.
Yeah, they were phenomenal.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Plus, he took Craig out.
He took Craig, exactly, man. That was amazing.
Sorry, everyone who loves Craig.
No, Craig can suck it.
Yeah,
I don't think a lot of people do. I've never known people don't like him.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Well, we'll touch on the 250s in a sec. I just want to go over a couple more bits with the 450. So, you mentioned Kawasaki. What was your thoughts on Jason Anderson?
Good.
Not aggressive enough.
I thought he did good, mate, honestly.
Yeah, he did good. For Ando, if you think he used Anderson as a currency, for his currency, he was doing well.
Who was it that took him out? Was it Barsha? It was Barsha, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There's been some Instagram heat on that already, apparently.
Oh, really?
But I would like to touch on that and say that I don't think Barsha took him out as much as took his line away, which is very different.
Yeah.
I don't think it was dirty. I think it was excessive, but not dirty in any way, shape, or form. Like,
I think the problem is, as soon as you start calling things like that dirty, there becomes like this thing where you can't then call another rider's pass clean, which is just because you like the rider or don't like the rider. So, for me personally, I'd much. Sorry, go on.
It would end up like Formula One.
Yeah.
So many rules.
Oh yeah.
The thing is, everyone knows, when you're up high in those berms, it's just like a minefield. You're walking on a tightrope, and you're up there. So whatever happens up there, you're never really going to pan out. You're always going to tiptoe and then struggle.
Controller's gone. Yeah, it's like you don't give yourself anywhere to go, do you?
No.
You removed a lot of options.
It's like when you're a kid learning to ride a motocross bike and you think, I'm going to ride up that hill, and then you get halfway up and think, I can't actually get up this hill, and then you just fall over because you can't even touch the floor. Yeah, and almost if you go use berms, or when you learn to ride berms, you look at the fast kids, you just think they're really up high and they're clutching the crap out of it, and that's how you do it. And then you realise the first time you blow the rear wheel for a berm, you're like, I don't want to be that high in a berm ever again. Like that's going to be lower down. You give yourself more options and stuff. And I know why they do it, because obviously as it dries during the night, the mud gets a bit marbly. The marbles roll down the berm, so the top of the berm tends to be a more consistent traction. But I don't think it's a good idea to do it when Barsha's behind you. No. Just as a general rule of thumb, if he's anywhere near you, don't go near the top of a berm. I suppose I would say we move on to the 250s, but you haven't actually watched the 250s, have you, Ben? No, it's fine. I didn't discuss it. I just listen and learn. Oh, but there's some stuff that happened. That's fine. Vince Freese. Thoughts? Yeah, Vince Freese's cool, but I thought it was great myself. I love seeing him get a whole shot in the heat as well. Yeah. I wanted him to win so bad. The nice thing about Freese though is because he's got experience, he's quite hard to get round. So I think from looking at it from that point of view, he's like, what do you call that kind of thing? He's upset in the ocean a little bit, which is good. It's good for 250s. Yeah, and I think a lot of them. I think a lot of that class have gone in thinking, "Fuck, Freese, like he's an experienced 450 veteran, and he's known for riding a wide bike, being awkward to get around, and he's not scared to take people out or be, a bit of a twat on the track. But and you can almost see every rider that got come up to him and made a pass. You could see how timid and
it was tiptoe as well.
They were.
Yeah,
I think the only one that looked confident was Marchbanks. That's what I thought personally.
Marchbanks looked really good, I thought.
Yeah.
He's due to look good, isn't he? Because he got dropped by Frick Circuit for making some poor decisions.
I think at the risk of saying things that are going to ruin it for you, Ben.
Oh no, carry on, mate. I don't mind.
I feel like
there is stuff in the 450 we can chat about. So, what's your guys' thoughts on Bogle, Alex Martin not making the main?
Oh, I felt really sorry for Martin.
Yeah, Martin,
Bogle, man.
Bogle, I don't have a lot of love for, if I'm honest.
You're not?
No, I don't know what it is. I think if he kept his leg on the peg a little bit more, he might actually go a bit quicker instead of being just... He's just all style and no substance, do you know what I mean? It's a weird one. He's done nothing bad to me. He just, when he can't take to a rider.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I can't take to him, so when he doesn't make the mains, I'm like, I kind of expect him, because he's been on a downward trajectory since he won the Supercross, one of 250s on a Geico.
Yeah, well, let's face it, Ben. I don't want to talk ill the guy, but it was a lot like was it Will Hahn's? Didn't Will Hahn win the opposite coast that year?
Yeah, a bit of an asterisk next to it, wasn't there?
Yeah, they both had a lot of riders weren't there or they got injured, so it was kind of handed to them on a plate. And like Chase Sexton's first. Was it his first championship in the 250s? And even he said, I feel like I didn't really win this.
Yeah.
Like I just sort of lucked into it. And I don't really want to say it either, because I love the guy and I'm the biggest James Stewart fanboy going, but even Malcolm Stewart's championship got a little bit like that. Towards the end, it did get a bit more heated, but then he was, I think he won a lot while the fast people weren't there. And then they came back and he just, kept that consistency going enough to just edge the points. So
at the risk of being controversial, it's not unlike Tomac's 450 win, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where they played out the rest of the rounds at a mile above sea level, which played right into his abilities.
Yeah, where he's born and raised and trained his entire life.
Yeah.
Callaway in the live chat. Sorry guys, got held up. We'll be on the next one. It's alright, we've got a replacement for you, Matt. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You can just sit on the sidelines and just keep watching.
He just needs a new mic.
Yeah, I need to get one. Sod's law on it.
So, Steve, tell us, this was your first, I would say, maybe first, official introduction into the water Supercross. You entered the Fantasy Supercross series. What's your thoughts? What do you think?
I don't know.
Oh, Steve, don't take me out.
Thanks for joining us.
I watched a little bit last year. Yeah, I watched some last year, but only a couple of races. But yeah, it was good fun. I enjoyed it.
Is it enough for you to have you got the bug? Is it enough for you to think, oh, I actually like this, I want to keep going, or is it just like,
it's a little bit meh at the moment.
See, this is the thing, and again, I could be being sort of biased, but I think those mega heydays of Ultimate Titans Clash, it's kind of not like that anymore, is it?
Could be in the past.
No.
Yeah. It's too much talent.
Stewart, Reed, Carmichael.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because I don't know whether it's the tracks or whether it's the riders, but they seem to be a lot more mellow. It's no, Carmichael, Stewart, Chad Reed era. You'd have all three of them, and admittedly they were running away from the rest of the pack, which made it a little bit less exciting. But they would battle so hard with one another. You get
they would overbrake. Whiskey throttle, it was always so many mistakes made during those. If you look back, you'll be like,
Yeah.
wow, up on the
But,
front
like,
wheel.
You pick any 4 corners and there's 3 pass attempts, and so every corner they're trying to pass. Whereas now it's almost like they just follow each other around until the other one makes a mistake, or they got 100% guaranteed pass rate.
Yeah.
Whereas back then it's like Stewart running it in on Carmichael, next corner Carmichael would run it in on Stewart, and you think that's more interesting to watch. And I don't know whether it's the evolution of the bikes or the tracks or what, but
That's why, in a way, I kind of prefer watching 250s sometimes, because you get a lot more of that.
Explosiveness,
Yeah, the raw kind of emotions, and played out on the track.
And the lap times are similar, aren't they, between the 250s and 450s?
They really are.
So
yeah.
The time must be made up by sheer aggression in riding. So when it comes to watching it, you're seeing that. I think that's 250s are a lot more interesting in terms of what's going on. And you tend to
I hate to bring it up as well, but
2 strokes.
No, but if you remember back, I think it was the 2020 season, and I still am behind Roxon, and I love the guy to bits, and he's my favourite rider. But just seeing the way that Cooper Webb would manhandle him and just come up on him, and it was that style of riding. Yeah,
and all you wanted was for Kenny to have just a little bit of that in return.
Yeah, and even last year he would just sort of was it Daytona? No, I think it was one of the Atlantas, wasn't it? Where Kenny was leading, then he crashed in the whoops, and then he had a big lead, and then Cooper Webb was just coming, and then it got within 3 laps of the end, and then Kenny just went high in a corner and just let Webb.
Yeah, he let him have it. Yeah.
Webb, he didn't even need to push the issue. He just passed and let him pass, and
I don't know. That's Rock. That's if you remember Roxon when he came onto the MXGP scene, he was hyper aggressive.
Yeah.
And then when he went onto the AMA on the 250s on KTM, same again there. It's like he was trying to make passes where passes weren't going to happen. Da Costa had to rein him in, and now he seems to have got to a point where unless he can guarantee the pass is going to happen, he's happy to sit there, and it's just a little bit. Like you said, Formula 1-esque, in the sense that they stay behind each other until they can guarantee it. They don't run it in on each other. It's getting to that level a little bit. I think it's because the bikes are so good.
I think Ouija was talking about this recently as well, and he was saying how I think they think it's all locked down at training facilities as well.
Yeah.
The riders, they've all got the same options now. It's not like back in the day there wasn't any of this training facility, and now you've got 4 different factory teams, and the guys are all riding with each other on weekends.
Most of them doing very similar programs as well, and they even the privateers know what kind of diet and exercise they need to be doing.
Yep.
I imagine, I know this is probably a really shit example and I get roasted for this, but imagine taking one of today's top privateers and putting him against, say, a factory rider from 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And
That'd be interesting.
It would be interesting to see how they stack up.
Yeah,
from what I hear, back in the day, it was even McGrath and that, it was loose, wasn't it? It was
Yeah, I was going to say the McGrath era, the sort of McGrath, Emig, Button, Jeff, Larry Ward, that kind of era, the 90s, 2000s. Even people who are hot button, stiff, really straight-laced individuals, like Damon Huffman, for instance, they were down the lake partying on weekends.
Yeah.
And drinking was normal. Emig lost his contract with Kawasaki for doggins. That was really common in the pits. Yeah, it's different. And you think their idea, Emig's idea of training back then was you go out, win a race, get absolutely smashed out of his tree, and then next morning you go for a 4-mile run. Yeah. And he's good to go for the next week. But nowadays you couldn't do that.
I bet NASCAR's
so
still
they're weighing egg whites. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them now it's gluten-free diets, vegan. Real
anti-inflammatory diets and
femme fresh. They're really going hard.
Digestive sandwiches.
On gluten-free bread, though, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, sourdough.
Yeah, sourdough.
Smashed avo and Vagisil.
Replace the Marmite with just a fresh squeeze of Vagisil. You're good to go, mate. So yeah, where's Oakland next? Is that right?
Yes.
I haven't looked.
Yeah, Oakland, another baseball.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to San Diego. That's always been one of my favourites.
Yeah, San Diego's always good. I'll tell you what, I like Glendale as well.
Yeah.
I think as far as the football stadium type tracks go, Glendale's one of the best, and I think that's got a lot to do with the size of the stadium, isn't it? It's normally got an extra lane.
Yeah, the bigger stadiums are better, aren't they, normally?
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was always Denver, because anything in Texas always had a bigger track.
Isn't Denver in Colorado?
Yeah, it was Denver, Texas.
Yeah, like...
They had the bigger football stadiums. They ended up having the bigger tracks.
Yeah, now I think Denver's the smallest one now, isn't it?
Yeah. I liked, in the lockdown ones, I like the outdoor ones. So the last...
like the Speedway ones?
That was Atlanta, wasn't it?
Yeah. Atlanta, and they did another one, didn't they? Was it... Salt Lake was Salt Lake the Speedway as well?
No, Salt Lake's the final, isn't it? The stadium style, like
Rice
Las Vegas.
Eccles, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember.
They did do two. They did Atlanta.
Two, didn't they?
Yeah. Maybe it was just Daytona and Atlanta.
Didn't they do 3 at Atlanta, though?
Yeah.
But I quite like them because they were bigger. They were bigger, faster tracks. And I don't know,
I think I feel the same way about them as I do Triple Crowns, which is I both love them and dislike them at the same time.
What's your thoughts on Triple Crowns, Ben?
They're a need to a must in terms of lockdown because state by state laws and sort of regulations were very restrictive.
We didn't have them last year, did we? It was 20.
No, we had.
Not residencies, but the 3 events.
Oh, you mean like
3 mains?
3 mains.
Oh yeah, I like that because it's anything that mixes up the points means that the end of the season is closer. So I quite like the Triple Crowns. That's
definitely one aspect to them that's good, I think.
But I do agree also that it's not gimmicky. I suppose it is gimmicky, but the Supercross has been the same since the 70s and 80s. I think anything to make it fresh is good. And if it doesn't work out, don't do it again, basically. So I quite enjoyed it because it's quite interesting. You can see it sort of played into the hands of different riders.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the sprinters
personally
were a lot better.
See, I would love to see like I know it sounds proper fun, fair, carny style, but I'd love to see like head-to-heads, 1v1 dash for cash. You know, like Bercy style.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, things like that. Hot laps.
Well, I like Super Pole.
Yeah,
really like Super Pole. A Bercy.
Yeah, that's always great.
Great.
By the way, where was Justin Hill?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, wasn't he riding for Team Tedder?
Yeah.
Did he not qualify?
No, it was
Josh Hill.
It was PBR Kawasaki or something, wasn't it?
Yeah,
no, Josh Hill.
Josh Hill was Team Tedder, and Justin was supposed to be. Is it SGH Kawasaki? Because it was the same as AJ Catanzaro's old team.
SGB, was that the one?
Yeah, SGB. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I didn't watch practice, so I don't know what happens. If anyone knows, there's one person watching right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll find out tomorrow when I get on the podcast game. But
well, I didn't
I was looking forward
to
seeing him. I was looking forward to seeing him.
Yeah, the Hill brothers are a bit of a. They're like Team Fried, aren't they? With Team Fried Light. They're just out there doing their own thing, but when back in the day, they could really ride. And like Josh Hill is clearly still very competent on a bike.
Yeah, man. And Justin as well. I know people say, he lucked into winning his championship that year. But he's another one of those riders that he can just wow you, can't he?
Yeah, he's an interesting story as well, because he was doing really well, won a championship, then basically once a year he'd crack out a banging race at Daytona, or one of the races in the year he'd do a top 3, so people still see him as relevant. Then he quits and becomes a sheriff, starts making music, and now he's trying to come back into it. It's like a weird... He's just doing his own thing. He's a soul rider. I quite like that.
Yeah, I quite like that.
So, can we talk about the elephant in the room then in the 450s? Can we talk about...
Yes, please do.
What's going to happen with Ken Roxon this year?
He's going to fade like a cheap t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate to say it, and
That's kind of
again, Roxon fan, but
yeah,
he always starts off hot, and then the excuses come. Prove me wrong, Ken. If you ever watch this,
please,
like,
for the love of God.
Oh yeah.
But no more of them whiny fucking interviews.
Yeah, he
Sorry, man.
doesn't do any favours with that, does he?
My bad.
I met him in America.
Really?
And, yeah, so it was when he was on Red Bull KTM. In 2012, I went to California to do the MX Heaven ride.
Oh yeah.
So we rode all the tracks in California. Went to Vegas for the Supercross. Went to the Monster Energy party at the Hard Rock. It was an amazing trip. But we were at one of the tracks, Comp Edge, and Roxon was there. And I went over and had a chat with him, and he's my hero. Absolutely love the guy. I had a photograph with him. Just sheer. I don't know why I did it. I put my hand on his bum. Bit awkward. Actually, but I did it by accident, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that." So yeah, I'm obviously a big fan because I groped him. But even I don't think he's going to go through the whole season without fading. And he always talks a good race at the start of the season. How he's new, he's changed, he's he knows what he needs to do now. Like I was saying in the race earlier, he's going to back it down so he has a little bit more left in the tank at the end of the race because that's when he seems to lose it. And I just don't buy it.
Sometimes, the last 2 times, like this time and before Outdoors last year, he came out with the same thing, didn't he? Which is, I'm not really ready for this.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm going to do very well. He played it down.
Yeah.
Which is probably quite sensible, really. But
who have we got for title threats? And I think you'd be stupid not to put, obviously, Webb. Webb, definitely.
I think we'll know after a couple of rounds how Tomac's going to perform.
Yeah, like AP. Thoughts on his switch to KTM and
what did
how he rode
do today? What did he do?
I didn't really.
He got injured. I think he had a digger in practice.
Did he?
From what? Yeah, I watched a little bit of practice live last night, and I know he went down, got walked off the track.
Oh shit!
I don't know whether he had an injury or not, and he's just out there making up the points as he can. But he didn't look. I expected him to be up there.
Yeah.
But then AP's more of an outdoors guy, and he's come from off-road. He does amazingly well in the MX Nationals when the track gets rutty or wet.
Yeah. He's a great guy. Yeah. I loved him awesome, on 250s. He was so good on that Yami 250.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's gone to the right team, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, he has. Because him and Webb are mates as well, aren't they?
I think a lot of second rider positions are filled with people who the main rider gels with. It seems like there's a lot of character mixing. They're doing it.
Well, you say that, but then look at, still on KTM Red Bull, but you remember back, Webb absolutely hated Marvin. Do you remember that time at Washougal on the podium when he said he took Marvin out, didn't he? And then said on the podium in his speech, "I ain't letting no Frenchie beat me."
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
but I think Webb's he's a very unique character in the sense that managers don't need to worry about him gelling with the team because he's a bit of a lone sort of individual. He just gets on with it. Yeah, he's got a chip on his shoulder and he rides like he has. He doesn't give a crap about anyone else. He's going to do what he's going to do anyway.
Yeah, and as much as I hate to say that because that's the phrase in it that the media throw around, he has, and I think he puts it there himself a lot of the time as well. I think he puts himself in these positions where he can be pissed off.
Oh, you heard that interview with him last year, and it was on the broadcast as well, the TV broadcast, where he said the factory teams just pushed him aside. When he came out of amateurs, they're like, no, we're not interested. And it was only Star Yamaha that offered, so he felt like he was, and I guess it worked tenfold.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't like he whines a lot, and I don't like that aspect of him as a rider, but his riding style and his hunger, you can't help but watch it. He's a great rider to watch.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt about Tomac 3 years ago.
Yeah,
that's exactly how I felt about him. He made a lot of excuses, but you couldn't help but admire just how he manhandled the bike.
Yeah.
Did you find out with Roxon now? Roxon is almost the same. There's an excuse or something, but then to be honest, I don't think it doesn't matter who it is. I don't think, unless it's Ferrandis, he just says, "Yeah, that guy's quick. I can't beat him. He's just quick." I think a lot of people, they don't want to admit, or there's this preconceived notion that if they say that it's a weakness. Do you know what I mean? I think the foreigners don't get that.
Yeah,
it's almost like an American way of thinking, isn't it, where you can't, like that Ricky Carmichael. I can't say what injuries
riders have never done it. If you look at MXGP riders in interviews, they'll just straight up say, "Oh no, on that day he's untouchable," and everyone will say Hurling's untouchable on the sand, and it's not like it's feeding into his ability to ride faster. It's just, I don't think I've got it for him here. But I think you're right in saying I think it's an Americanism.
It is.
You might.
I don't think it's necessarily that the riders believe, but I think it's a marketing thing where they have to be seen to be so positive. Because it reflects on the bike, or it reflects on their trainer or their sponsors in some way. I think it's sponsor driven more than rider fact. I think they know where they stand in the pecking order.
Do they?
What about the whole? See, this drives me mad, and I'm a dad. I get it, all the rest of it, but the whole family man, Mr. America, Christian Craig.
Yeah.
He is Captain America at Supercross, isn't he?
And it's the same every year. The amount of times I've heard this is his final shot to get this done, after this. And it's like, well, he said that 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He said that 3 years ago. Like, and how many rides did he get on that Geico Honda because of his father-in-law? Yeah.
He's a very competent rider. I'll say that he's got a great style, and he's always, in lap times at practice especially, he's always in the mix for the top lap time.
Yeah,
it's more his personality, isn't it?
Yeah, he's quite hard to like, isn't he?
Yeah,
he is.
But do you think that's because we come from Europe?
Yeah, I think it's exactly that. I think us as Europeans, we look more for the down-to-earth, real speaking. So we look for people that are like, I'm just shit tonight. The bike was just shit. People that almost, they're just realists. They're not on that hope. It's that whole, it's almost like Hollywood cheese. I don't want to say it, but it kind of is, isn't it?
Themselves, aren't they?
But that's one reason why I really hated what Roxon was coming out of over the last couple of years, because he used to be that guy. Like, he'd quite happily say, he just straight up beat me today, he was riding much better than me or whatever. But just over the last year, man, the last couple of seasons, those excuses that he's been coming out of have been real cringy.
But you listen to his accent now, he doesn't have an accent. He's basically American.
He's Americanized, isn't he?
Yeah, and it's not his fault, in fact. He lives in that country. He's one of the few people who makes so much money that he's going to have a fantastic life there.
Yeah.
Because your quality of life there is very much dependent on your bank balance. So, yeah, he's probably just doing the corporate thing. He's towing the corporate line a little bit. But I think that's why I like Dean Wilson. And Dean Wilson's never going to do well. He's in his twilight years of his career. He's going to be... You're looking at top tens.
Yeah, he's going backwards, isn't he?
He's an absolute character.
Yeah.
He does fantastic social media, fantastic interviews. He's enjoying himself. His missus is stunning, so he's obviously got something going on there, hasn't he? So,
yeah,
he gets lad points from me.
It's the this could just be nationality bias, but then we've got some absolute bellends over here as well.
Oh yeah.
There's a few of them on YouTube, but yeah, he is. Like, can you imagine going out on the piss with Dino?
Yeah, it'd be amazing.
That'd be mega.
Yeah.
He posted a photograph in Bristol, and I said to Matt, I was like, mate, if I knew he was there, I would have gone to Bristol and hunted for him just for a photo. Like, I proper fanboy over Dino.
Yeah,
the Destination. I went to VIP at the Destinations in 2017 in Matterley, and I bumped into his dad and his girlfriend, and I was so starstruck that I met his dad. I went all weird and was like, oh, hello. I called him Mr. Wilson and stuff. It's really weird. I don't normally get... Because when I went to California, I've met Jeff Emig, Ken Roxon, Ryan Dungey, but all of these, Hansen, Tedesco, just chatted to him like a normal human. It's just nice to have a photo with him.
Josh Hansen, man, that's another one. I love that guy.
Yeah, I got a lot of time for him. I really enjoy his style.
Best
And
style, 100%.
I didn't even care when he was on Pro Circuit. He didn't win that title. I just loved watching him ride.
Yeah, even at Red Bull straight with him on that Suzuki, man, it's just like poetry in motion, isn't it?
Yeah. And if I could choose to have his style or Carmichael's wins, I'd choose his style.
Yeah, definitely. I think if people don't know about Josh Hansen, you need to go back in the time machine and look at some Hansen.
YouTube Moto8 Hansen, and it gives you the section of where he's riding in the Moto8 section. And there's one bit where he's doing like a triple, and he takes a leg swag. His leg comes off. And he taps the back brake at the same time and noses it in perfect.
Oh my god! Yeah, you always think he's going over the bars, but it's not. And his style is just so. Honestly, like straight with him, I think was the best example because it was just such a long straight, and he was just downsiding everything, and you're like, man, so sick. Yeah, another person that had a similar. This isn't me being biased. This is straight up facts, but James Stewart had that similar downside, didn't he?
Yeah,
he really did. He wasn't scared to hit the brake and just flow in nose first.
That was James Stewart's downside a lot of the time as well. Because if you watch his riding style, he stands forward quite a lot. So when he hits something and he gets out of shape, he's already forward. So when he goes more forward, and the rear wheel unweights itself. Whereas Carmichael, in comparison, was a little bit further back, so he's a little bit more balanced and central. But Stewart's style was, when it was working, was absolute poetry. Josh Hansen, James Stewart, and I think Sebastian Tortelli in his heyday. Seb Tortelli.
See, I was going to say Barsha as well. Barsha's got that similar kind of nose down. But like
Barsha 250 days, man. Even on he rides that 250 like a 450. Like you wouldn't think.
Yeah, that's why he didn't do very well for so long, though, wasn't it? Because he was riding the 450 like a 250, and it just doesn't work because there's so much reciprocal mass and centrifugal forces working on it. You can't sling it about like a 250, and he was trying to. But
what's your guys' thoughts on Anstey?
Lad,
I love Anstey.
Yeah, he's always a good interview as well.
Yeah, I liked him last year.
Like it's finished. Did you? I think he did.
I expected him to start slow.
Yeah.
He's on a new bike. He's done Supercross before. He's basically had a lot of his youth was in America because he used to go over every year for the Minios and Lorettas.
Well, he did Supercross back in like 2010, didn't he?
Yeah, he's had a few shots at it, hasn't he? So he knows what he's doing. But I think he has to get back into the swing of it. The team he's on solid as well.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Man, he's definitely on the right team. Made a great move from Twisted Tea.
Yeah. McElrath as well, man. He come out swinging.
Yes, he is another one I kind of like. You know, as a personality.
Good to see him back. Yeah,
he's a likable guy.
He was really good on TLD. Troy Leaker.
Yeah, he was very underrated, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and when he gets a B in his bonnet, he kind of bulldogs it a little bit as well. Like, not quite Tomac level, but you can see he's trying to make ground, which I think is good. Some riders kind of look like they're accepting their position, whereas McElrath seems to strike me as someone who wants to progress during a race, so I quite like that.
Okay, final 8 minutes. Let's touch on round 2 predictions. 450. In fact, we just go 450s because I think 250s. I was very it was very. J-Mart wasn't there. Jet Lawrence wasn't there.
Yeah, do you know, I was going to say exactly the same thing, which is basically I think this coast is completely. I'm bummed out on this coast.
Yeah.
And I'm bummed out on it as well because of the two things that happened. 2 riders that went out.
Yeah. I know Jalik Swole is now Jalik Swollen.
Yep.
But
and Nichols is Noam Nichols, isn't he?
Yeah, and
two broken arms.
That's
really
a good effort.
2 broken arms, man.
That's savage. And it just seems like Craig is. I don't know, man. It just seems if he doesn't win this championship, it's gonna be like you're the biggest letdown of mankind.
Oh, he will, but he'll only win it because there's now hardly any competition. I'll tell you what. I hope Hunter Lawrence takes it from him, and I hope Shimoda gives him a hard time as well.
You're forgetting Freeze as well, man.
Freeze is going to be in there, isn't he?
I don't know if he will after the first round.
What's that?
Freezy won't. I don't reckon he'll be around. The first round he'll do exceptionally well on, like he, from the sounds of it, has. I don't think he's going to be consistently up there. He'll consistently start well, but he tends to drop anchor quite a lot, doesn't he? And he's getting on now. He's been in it for a few years.
He does, mate.
Yeah, but
I think it's half the rounds.
Yep.
Short motos. You know, and he's on a fucking quick bike, mate. That
And
Honda.
Confidence boost as he's against kids, isn't he? So
Great starter.
yeah.
Yeah, he don't have a lot of friends though, does he?
No,
I don't think he cares.
He's in a class of kids, mate. He's there to
he
just
doesn't have to have
swing
friends.
that truncheon about.
Yeah.
That's even worse though, isn't it? Because if you're in a class full of kids who've got all the testosterone flow and they've got someone there in front of them they know is a known dickhead,
Yeah.
they're going to take him. They're going to take him out, aren't they?
I would love to know his opinion on all of this. I'd love to know where he stands. I think it'd be an interesting interview.
Let's get him on. Okay, we're lining Vince Freese.
Yeah, we got what?
Stream.
We've had one viewer, haven't we? So I'm sure he'd be up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but 250 wise, again, I was just going to say, I think. Did you notice what happened with the gates where there was flinching?
Yeah.
So we didn't get a good start out of Lawrence, and Shimoda got stuck in the gate, right? So
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens next week with an even start. That's all.
What's your views on Pro Circuit Kawasaki going for their dry spell then? Because they haven't had a championship in years, have they? And they were dominant.
Yeah, I think it's the Baggett days. It's kind of been like that, hasn't it? No,
yeah,
probably
so
not. Justin Hill, I think, was the last guy. Yeah, but see, where's Fulton, man? Because there was so much hype around him, and I watched him in the amateurs and thought, I love this kid. Like, but
he's a Tomac head screw as well. Like,
yeah, but worse.
But worse, yeah. He seems to be raveling himself up in all the drama and the social media and all the kind of bullshit, all the Vital MX sort of forum crap.
Defending himself everywhere,
Yeah, and it's like, and then he goes out and he'll auger himself into the ground and get injured, which he's done for the last 4 years or whatever. And you're like, I don't understand why Mitch is still paying him unless he's got some sort of legal, watertight sort of contract on him. But
what do you think of McAdoo?
Push pineapple, shape the tree.
Yeah, from last year, I think he's good.
Yeah,
I think he's good, man.
He's hungry.
I think Mitch is. I think he's lucked out. Pro Circuit have lucked out getting McAdoo as a fill-in, and even Shimoda, mate.
Shimoda, yeah.
I'm a big fan of Shimoda.
Yeah, he's
big
fan, man.
He's really humble. He's slowly building. He's doing really well. He's consistent.
Yeah.
That's why I want to see what happens next week when he actually gets a decent start, you know.
Yeah. Although I'm going to be backing Hunter Lawrence. I think the Lawrence brothers are a breath of fresh air in terms of personalities. They're great.
I'm very disappointed that Jet's not riding west.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's busy starting up a donut shop in California, isn't he?
Busy nursing his broken ribs as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he's broken his ribs, and the same week he'd done his ribs, he opened a donut shop.
Mad. So predictions going into round 2.
450 only, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just you got to put Webb up there. Oakland is historically it gets shitty, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Let's break down.
I think that'll favour Roxon though, because he technically is very good.
I was going to say the same thing.
Maybe I don't know. It's just too early to tell. 2 rounds in, 1 round in, it's just too early. But I'm hoping that Tomac, and I'm not, a Tomac fanboy or anything, but I just I want somebody else to be up there. I want to see more.
I wanted Yamaha to be really good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's doing exactly what he did on Kawasaki, so it's not a backward step. It's just horizontal, I suppose.
More of the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I don't think you're ever going to get the Honda days, are you?
No, he's never been the same really since he got off the Geico 450 when he done both his shoulders, didn't he? At Thunder Valley.
Yeah.
That
was it 2015? 2015,
yeah, 14,
like start of the year, Eli Tomac. That was just unreal.
I think he's a better outdoor rider than indoor, but people in the media seem to tag him as like the Great White Hope for indoor as well. And I've never really thought he'd been that. Unless the track gets really shitty, when he can bulldog his way through ruts and just pin it and pray, he tends to be like solid fit.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't get a start, he doesn't get anywhere.
I've argued this with people before. In fact, I remember I posted a comment on a Start Your Systems video and said, I don't think Tomac's ever going to get a 450 championship. All right, fair enough, he did under weird circumstances. But I just said I don't think he's a Supercross winner. I think he's won a lot of races, but he's just not consistent enough to put it all together.
Is that the same with Anderson, do you think? Was that just a lucky season in 2018 that he...
Who else was there to challenge him? I love Anderson, I really do, but who else did he have?
He was good on the 250 in 14.
Yeah.
When he was on the
I liked him on the Suzuki, mate. I thought he was great on the Suzuki.
Yeah, but the 14 when he took the first 2 rounds, he won last corner, last lap from
I mean, Sealy, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was he was very quick that year, and I think that carried him into the Husky sort of days. But he's not done much since. I don't. I'd like to see him. I think he's a better indoor rider than he is outdoor, Anderson.
Yeah.
He seems to be quite good in practice on the Kawasaki.
Yeah, he's definitely better indoor, isn't he?
It is.
Yeah.
So pretty much, it's just too early to tell. But
yeah, you're probably going to see more of the same.
Yeah,
I agree.
Sexton's going to be up there. Roxon's going to be up there. Webb's going to be up there, and then you can close your eyes.
Going to be trying to get up there.
Yeah, you can just basically put their names in a hat, take those lot out, and then pick out another 5, and that's your top 10.
Yeah.
And it could be anyone. It's so stacked.
I'm going to make a bold prediction and say that Barsha's not going to win or get a podium at all this year. I don't think he's even going to get a podium.
You think so?
Daytona's he's probably got a podium.
Except for today, I don't think he's going to get another podium.
I don't know. I wouldn't rule it out.
Yeah,
he looks good on that gas cast.
Yeah, but it's the same as every other year, isn't it? He does great at A1, and this year he's done worse at A1 than he did previous years. So that's my bold prediction.
Last year was better than just A1. He did. It kind of went back and forth. I think wasn't it Glendale that he had like a great ride or somewhere like that.
Hey, that's why
it was like a couple of rounds. But yeah,
I don't know, man. It's controversial.
I think we just got to see how. We've just got to let the jitters get out of the way, let them all get in their groove, and then see. That's why I kind of, in some ways, it'd be cool if they did the NASCAR thing. You know, reset the points when it's like 5 rounds to go or something.
Yeah, that defeats the points of the other rounds, doesn't it?
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, it was. I can't remember what they call it.
Why do they do that? What's the purpose?
Because the rednecks can't keep track of where they are anyway, so they might as well play and start again.
It's to keep it. It's just to keep it exciting.
Okay.
So like you could be winning all year, then they reset the points, and you can start having a shit year.
Yeah.
It's quite. It is a bit savage, but
it defeats the purpose of the other rounds before it a little bit.
Yeah.
There must be a reason for it.
But then in British touring car, you have weight bias in, don't you? So if you put the fastest lap in, you have to have the highest amount of weight added to your car and stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
A lot of motorsports do a sort of handicap.
Handicap's all right. Yeah, Formula One needs more handicap.
I think they should do if you.
We got Lewis Hamilton. That's enough handicap.
Oh, yeah, his wokeness is enough of a handicap for anyone.
100%.
You know.
What happened to him? He used to be so cool.
Did he?
Yeah, he got political.
Yeah, and then he turned his bulldog vegan, and I was like, nah, mate.
Man, I hope that dog gets taken away from him.
He should. It's cruel.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I think we've kind of
definitely run out of things.
Yo.
By the way, you know I always forget to log in as admin.
Yeah.
Where you can promote yourself in the dedicated GUI to admin.
Can you?
Without leaving the server, yeah.
Oh, wow. There we go. So, Steve watched Supercross. And Steve, for everyone at home, is Bayer.
Yeah, man.
Sound
he
mod,
watched
man.
Supercross and got into it. And as you can see from tonight's recap, he's been
the number one.
He hasn't shut up about it.
Balls deep. Yeah.
Did you not hear me? I must have had my mic off.
Come on, Steve, before we go,
yeah.
You know, what did you enjoy? Tell us something that you were like, oh, this looks bollocks. Or, this was good, or anyone that you liked.
It was fun. Well, it's fun watching Sexton until he crashed. I thought he was going to win it in the end, but obviously not.
Mhm.
And then, it's just a shame that Roxon went off on his own. A bit boring then, wasn't it?
What about the 250s? Or did you not watch that?
I didn't watch it.
I wouldn't waste your time, to be honest, mate. I just
Really?
kept fast forwarding it. Yeah, thinking I know this sounds so sinister. I just keep fast forwarding, hoping to see Craig pick his bike up. But I didn't. It didn't happen. So it's always next weekend.
Where's Ferrandis when you need him?
The thing is, I like J Martin. If he's not there, and Alex Martin's not there, and Jet Lawrence, he's great.
Hang on, Alex Martin's there. He just can't make it into a main event.
Yeah, but he's not 250s, is he? That's what I mean.
Yeah,
he should go back to 250. He should have done what a few riders did, and they conveniently got injured at the right time when they didn't point out.
McElrath. There's loads that did it.
He should have done that because he's a great 250 rider.
Yeah, man, he was on a star bike as well. He did good on that bike, and TLD. I thought he was good on TLD as well.
Yeah, I did actually.
It's that bullshit rule, though, isn't it? Of where they just move these amateurs up. How many amateurs have came up that are like, this guy's set the world on fire, and then they do 1 year, then they're just gone, and then they're on a shit team, then you never see him again.
Yeah.
Oh, what's his name? Kiddie on
Jordan Bailey.
Jordan Bailey. You had can't forget his name. That's gone. But he was a really quick rider on Trolley KTM, and he was a rapid.
Not Jordan Smith.
No, someone else. Jordan Smith should have done better than he did.
Yeah.
He was good, and I expected more from him, really.
What, last night?
No, I mean, just as a career.
Yeah, definitely, man. Sean Cantrell. There's loads, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
You need these guys.
To be fair, the American Amateur Series isn't really great for producing riders ready for the Pro Series because they just do like 6-lap sprints. So anyone can be a rock star for 6 laps. But
I think it's ruined by money, the amateurs.
Yeah,
probably.
I also think in America specifically, I think it's ruined by Loretta Lynn's. Because the track isn't a proper outdoor track. It was alright on 125s and whatever, but on the 250F 450, it's not big enough. Your chance of being sponsored and your career can be ruined by one bad race.
Yeah, because that was the be all and end all, wasn't it, for amateurs for a long time?
Yeah, for a very long time it was, and it still is to a certain extent.
Well, it's better now. You got things like Mini-O's and stuff like that,
Yeah, they've always had Mini-O's, but they also used to have a lot of other amateurs like Kawasaki Racer Champions, Ponca.
Yeah.
Other big nationals which have gone away now, so I think more weight is now put on Loretta's, but it doesn't prepare them for the pro ranks. And then they don't. Do they still have to do that silly pointing system with the Arena Cross, the Road to Supercross, whatever it is?
I honestly can't keep up with it. It changes so much. It's like the AMA rulebook. 1 minute it's happening. Like, how many years did you watch Supercross? How many red flags were there? And in the last 3 years, it's like feels like every other race.
Yeah.
Red flag, red flag.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? There's a load of problems in the sport that you can't really resolve. You don't know what you need to do to fix it. So it's a weird one.
It's easy to make the rules, isn't it? But it's hard to take them off. Go backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the AMA seems to struggle to actually implement them as well. So there's that.
Yeah, keep them consistent.
Yeah, one for one for another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Steve, are you going to be watching next week?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Are you going to the Vet MX Nations?
Oh, well, like I said, if there's none of this fucking bollocks in place, I'm up for it. But if they're like... It depends what happens in our... I guess the political sphere of fucking bullshit that goes on.
Yeah.
It's in the summer though, isn't it? So you should be alright.
Yeah, but you don't know what some of these places. Saying that though, and I'm sure it's the same for you, Ben. Every motocross event I went to last year, on the website and on the paperwork, it's all like precaution, restrictions. And when you get there, there's like people in dungarees just sucking each other off. There's nothing, and it's like, well, we've got to put that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I went to the same events you went to.
Yeah, I went to a couple, and there was no Although there
Were
was
they, like-
COVID signs up, no one gave a fuck, and it was great.
No, I was going to
loved
say
it.
the same thing, mate. I went to Matterley Basin last year to see the MXGP, and the website was heavy on all of this stuff. And when I got there, it was none of it. Also, I
Yeah.
think they said they were only allowing 10,000 people or something, and there was easily 40. Whatever the
Yeah,
number
it's-
was, there was 4 times as many people there as they were allowing.
I think
It was
they've got
alright.
to be shown to be doing it, haven't they? But in reality, they can't actually enforce it, so they kind of
Yeah.
just throw their hands in it and let everyone in anyway. So
Well, that and
hopefully-
especially with ticket sales, they can't afford to run that event unless they sell
No.
a certain number of tickets.
No, and how
No,
many people
Who's
are
gonna
going to
check,
like?
seriously?
I'm not showing a COVID pass to get in. You can go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
There's way more people like that than there is. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that.
and it's security. When you do about 10 of those people go, nah, fuck you, mate, before they go, oh, do you know what? My job's not worth this hassle. Let in you
Yeah.
come. They'll just scam
Yeah.
people in. Because
Yeah.
there's not, and it's ridiculous anyway. If you can sit in a restaurant without a mask on at waist height, you've got to stand up and put one on. I think.
Well, didn't you know, mate? It don't
Go-
spread when you sit down.
Yeah, and it doesn't spread after 10 p.m.
That's
or
it.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah. So as long as you're in an open field, you're gold. Like the smell of two-stroke coming out the old bikes would cure you anyway.
Oh yeah, and the fact that Villapoto and Sil are going to be there, that's like,
And
oh
Osborne.
man.
Pretty cool, yeah.
Wacko Zacko Osborne's going to be there as well.
Yeah.
I
Is
think
he
Mike
really?
Brown- yeah, Mike Brown's going. There's loads of big names being signed up for it.
Wonder if
I think-
Cairoli's going to turn up.
Clement de Sal's doing it, I think. The
Oh, wow,
Belgian
so this
team
is sounding like
proper.
MXGP.
Yeah, so what they're doing is they did it Farley, but then they've also got a VMX DN class, which is pro invite only,
Okay.
and they're following the Des Nations rules where it's like first gets 1 point, second gets 2 points. But they're all going to be like ex pros, but they're between the age of 02 bikes and 08 bikes,
Oh wow.
2-stroke only. So it's all relatively new 2-strokes.
That's quite cool.
So it's gonna be good, I think.
Yeah, that sounds good, man.
Yeah, I'm not interested in this Supercross. Give me the vintage stuff.
Yeah, can you imagine if they did like a vintage
Vin-
Des Nations Supercross or something? They got
They should.
Carmichael out there, James Stewart, Villeman,
I'd
McGrath.
implode, mate. My head would go.
What bike do you ride, Ben?
I've got a 2014 KTM 250 two-stroke.
Nice.
I did have a 450 Kawasaki because I am. If you cut me in half, I'm green all the way through. Love a Kawasaki.
Find
Well,
that
I have my-
KTM vibrates like a motherfucker on you.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm quite hot on torquing the engine mounts though, so they're not like cranked down on. So there's a little bit of give there.
My
My
mate's
mate's
got a
got the
16.
new one, and it's lush
Oh really?
because it's got a balancer shaft in it, so it don't vibrate.
I love a good shaft.
Mm.
You got to love a good balancer shaft, mate. I've had no complaints about mine,
Nice,
other than
man.
it doesn't vibrate.
Oh well, there you go.
Yeah, I two-stroke all the way, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, my
Right.
mate's got a 16 250 and just feels so dangerous to ride because it's just so fucking fast.
Have you grown up on four-strokes, though? Did
No.
you like?
I grew up riding CR 250s, KX 500s, like 2-strokes. My first
Yeah.
4-stroke is the one I own now, like full-size 4-stroke.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And then you should be fully up to speed on the two-stroke methods. But I do know what you mean by the KTM's though, because they seem to be light switches.
Yeah.
And
And
it doesn't. It's
amazing
not.
brakes.
Yeah, the 4-strokes
Yeah.
are as well.
Yeah, I've ridden a couple of the newer KTM 250Fs, and I really
Yeah.
liked them. But you just rev them
The
to
throttle's
the moon.
on or off, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it really
yeah,
is.
absolutely.
But on the 250, I noticed it didn't put its power to the ground very well. It felt like it just spun up and sort of lifted itself off the ground rather than into it.
I'm not
What's
nearly
that, a 50F? 250F?
No, two-stroke.
Yeah.
So I had a Yamaha 250 two-stroke before, and I put a 9-ounce flywheel weight on it, and it was amazing. Any conditions, you just put the power down, and it was lovely. Got this 250 two-stroke, and it was like a light switch power delivery, but none of the grip went to the ground. It just sort of sat on the spot and spun up.
Yeah.
Like a really aggressive power. But I
They
made
are
a
a
few
handful,
mods to
aren't
it.
they?
Yeah, I've got a bigger carb on it now, so they come standard with 36s, 36mm carb, and all the other manufacturers have 38s. So with a 36, you get loads of bottom end. So by going to a 38, I lost some bottom end but gained some top, and I find that's made it a lot more rideable.
There you go, look, balance and shaft, bottom ends, fucking win-win. Well, there we go. We touched on the Supercross. I don't know if I'll be around for next week's one, but it'd be cool to hear you guys' thoughts on it, regardless.
Yeah. Let me know when you're about, and I'll be about, and I can talk crap with the best of them.
Yeah, mate. It's good to have another like British moto head, I guess, that's into it, because we're far and few between over here.
Yeah, it seems to be going that way. A lot of people I know into it don't really follow it, and I'm like, I don't know how you can't, but
yeah, man.
Yeah, it's a shame Matt couldn't join us, but it's been good regardless. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, get Matt involved next time. I know Matt's uncle's he's into it as well, so if you need another opinion and some dulcet southwesterly accent, then give it let him know. I'm sure we can add some people to the roster if needs be.
Yeah, man, just mix it up. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, on that note, people, thanks. All three of you, thanks for tuning in, and yeah, we'll do a recap next week. And if you like this, we'll just keep it going throughout the season.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I'll definitely be doing one of these track maps every week anyway, so we'll have something to ride.
Well, there you go. This has been I did final thing. I did ride the aerial one, and I couldn't even get out of the first area. I just kept going around in circles. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, so I give up. But this was a bit easier to navigate. Maybe it's just because I'm old and got shit eyesight. But on that note, I'm off. So have a great weekend, everyone, a great week at work, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys later.
See you later.
Bye.
My stream's ended.
Yeah, I'm ended.
All right, cool. Are you still there, Ben?
Yeah, I still am it.
All right, fair play. Yeah, cheers for coming on, mate. That was good.